You are tuned in to the Business Lounge with Gentleman Shopani at Radio Mafisa 93.4, the Platinum Voice. Let's talk.
When you set your standards or you set your boundaries, people are going to say, oh, you think you're all that. I am. And I don't care. I am. And I don't need you to make me feel like I am. I'm going to set this standard, and I'm going to live by this standard. And I'm not going to let anybody come into my life, not even be a business partner, not be a marriage partner, not be a girlfriend, boyfriend, and pull me down to where you are.
Good evening, Rustenbeck. Good evening, South Africa. Good evening, Bujanal. You're tuned into your best business show with your boy, Gentleman Shopani. This is the Business Lounge. So, last week, we were celebrating as South Africans. The grade 12 results came out. A couple of provinces showed improvement, which is a good thing. I mean, if we were to look in the statistics, if we look at the Free State, which is number one, it had 89.03% pass rate. Great. KwaZulu-Natal was sitting at 86.36. Good. We've got Gauteng, which was sitting at 85.38. We've got the Northwest, Bukunubu Perema. We were sitting at 81.63 and number 4. So we're really doing well. We're on our way to achieve. I think our target for last year was 85, but we managed to get 81.63. And then we've got the Western Cape, which was sitting at 81.54. We've got Eastern Cape, which managed 81.42. And we've got Limpopo, which was sitting at 79.54. Mpumalanga, 76.95. And Northern Cape at 75.84. So if we take these numbers, it means nationally, we increased from 80% to 82%. So it means if nationally we had 10 students that wrote, 8 of those students, they passed the grade 12, which is a good thing. These are the numbers. These are the real numbers that we achieved as a country. But what does these numbers mean? Because education should be used as a form of us to escape poverty. It's a way of us to escape a lot of social ills, a lot of socio-economic things. So another step that I asked myself is, okay, now that we've got 82% of pass rate, how many of these students they find themselves in a higher education? Based on the statistics right now, in South Africa, based on the capacity of our universities and the acceptance level in our universities, it's averaging between 30 and 50% of those students will be able to access higher education, be it TVET colleges, be it universities, be it technology universities, or any other form of higher education. It's only 50% of those. That's the number. Let that sink in. So what does all these numbers mean? So another thing that intrigued my mind was, okay, sharp. What is the unemployment rate amongst the youth in South Africa? Right? And I did a little bit of a search in our statistics. Currently within the youth and these young people, I'm talking about people between the age of 15 to 24. So if you look at 15 to 24, it's averaging at the age of 18. These are our school leavers. These are the grade 12s that we spoke about. So we've got 36.1% of them unemployed. That's the reality. That's our reality as South Africa. 36.1% of those kids within the age of 15 to 24 are unemployed. Now, based on that statistics. So you can see, man. I mean, if youth unemployment is sitting at 36.1%, it's really dire. It's really not good for any economy. It's really not good for any country. Now, I asked myself, okay, sharp, globally, because we are not operating in isolation as South Africa. That's why we've got the balls to participate in global issues like the ICJs, because we understand ourselves that we are existing within a global community. So I asked myself that globally, what are the countries doing in order to fight unemployment. So number one in the list is investing in education and training. That's number one. That's what globally countries do. Number two, they promote entrepreneurship and small businesses. And I want you to mark number two, because our show today, we've got SEDA, and we're going to be touching specifically on this point, trying to solve all the ills that I've already described in on top there. Now, number three, they talk about the infrastructure development, labor market policies. Is number four. Number five is technology and innovation. Number six is social protection system and global cooperation. So now, if we look at number one, that's why I described where we are in terms of education at the high school level. And we're specific because today we're going to be talking to SEDA about entrepreneurship in schools program. So this is a government entity, Bakaizu. This is the government entity that saw it fit, that identified that to be saying, what can we do as the government entity to improve on the unemployment rate? Because one of the things that global is being done is to promote entrepreneurship and small businesses. So where do we now start to do this thing? At what level, at what age do we have this intervention? Now, SEDA saw it fit to say, why don't we have a program that will be running in the schools? So hence, as the business show, we saw it fit for us to invite them to be saying, this is a very progressive program, and we will want to get more information about it. We will want to see, to talk to them how, because like, sitting, who now I'm in grade 10. I might not be good in mathematics, I might not be good in science, I might not be good in accounting, but I've got that entrepreneurial bone in me. How do we wake up that sleeping giant? And at what level do we start to wake it up? And we cultivate it and we grow it. So, excuse. So, Maritzko, today we're going to be talking to SEDA. And today we are very specific. We're going to be focusing on the entrepreneurship in schools program. So I've got my guests today that I'm going to let them introduce themselves for now. And then we'll unpack what is this program about, this interesting program. It says, I love what it is. Assisting young learners to develop an entrepreneurial mindset. So they identified that we need to assist them, because already globally has been identified that promoting entrepreneurship and small business is one of the key things that the first countries do in order to fight the surge of unemployment, which currently for our country it's 36%. That's high. So, good evening to you guys. You can introduce yourself to my guest, and thank you so much for coming.
Thank you again. Let's appreciate the opportunity given to us. It is a second in a series of interviews that we've been doing with your good selves, and SEDA appreciates that from the start, because we need to let people in the community out there know what it is we do, specifically in a matter that touches your heart quite closely, which is youth development and entrepreneurship in schools. My name is Mlungisi Makubalo. I'm the Marketing and Stakeholder Relations Specialist for SEDA in the Northwest Province. I am accompanied by Mr. Caritas Maselesele, who is the branch manager for our Bojanala district, but we've divided the district into two. We've got an office in Brits. He runs the one in Rustenburg, which is we call Bojanala West, which covers Rustenburg, Getling, and Moses Kotane. And then the one in Brits covers areas to the north of that. Also with us, although virtually, is Mr. Refilwe Mohale, who is a key player in this particular program. SEDA has appointed a service provider company that we've been working with since 2017 to implement the program nationally. He's also online with us, and he'll share further information as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Maselesele, welcome.
Thank you, sir.
If Mr. Mohale, are you on the line?
Yes, Mr. Mpapeni.
I'd like to greet all your listeners, Mr. Makubalo, Mr. Maselefele, and all the listeners of Radio Makusa.
Thank you very much. And thank you for taking your time to come and have this discussion with us. It's a very important discussion. It's very close to our hearts as the business show, because we understand that in order to solve the social ills that our country is going through, in order to solve the problems that as South Africans and Africans in particular, unemployment is one of our biggest pains, is one of our biggest pain points. And what is the better way to solve it than to cultivate the spirit of entrepreneurship in our young people in South Africa? And thank you very much for taking your time to come and talk to us.
It is an honor, sir.
So, before I bring you in, Mr. Mohale, I want Mr. Makubalo to introduce, to say, okay, Sharp, you said Mr. Mohale is the one that is leading this at the national level. If you were to bring it down so that we can understand.
Let me just explain how it works is that SEDA it's divided into three structures, which is our national office, provincial office, as well as our branch network. Our branch network provides most of the services directly. However, there are programs of a national nature, which entrepreneurship schools is one of them. Because we are working with the National Department of Education. Mr. Mohale will elaborate further on that. And to that end, because of its nature, that it's national, it's coordinated from our national office. There's a program, a unit called Program Analysis and Development, which is PAD, which runs the program. It is headed by a gentleman by the name of Mr. Kgaugelo Mkhwale, but that is a matter for another day. There's a coordinator who does it nationally as well, Ms. Lusanda Gianni. Okay. They are the ones who are working with Bontate Mohale on a day-to-day basis to coordinate the program, to identify the relevant schools in the various provinces, and interact with the Department of Education and implement this program in the various schools. So in essence, the Prime Stars is a partner and contractor of SEDA, assisting us with the implementation of the program.
Thank you very much. So to us as the show, what's very important is they are part of SEDA in terms of, they're an arm of SEDA. If I'm utilizing a Toyota car to go Berry, it's not Toyota that's bearing, still Pyramid that's bearing.
Definitely.
So we're going to be talking to Mr. Mohale as an extension of SEDA in terms of SEDA. So, Dr. Mohale, thank you so much. Entrepreneurship in schools program. If you were to outline it and say, what is this thing and what is it aimed to achieving, if you were to give us an overview of what is this program about?
Thank you very much, sir. Well, as we might know, that it's been said time and time again that for our economy to grow, we need to produce more SMMEs, because these SMMEs are the ones that are really going to be the backbone of growth, but of course create the numerous job opportunities that we need. But to be able to build successful SMMEs, there has to be a culture and a mindset amongst the cohort of people that are going to be starting these businesses. And we believe that if we start with our youth, while they are still in high school, teaching them that entrepreneurship is not just a last resort, something to fall back on when all the other plans have failed, but you can choose from the get-go to follow a path of entrepreneurship. So our role as Prime Stars, together with SEDA, is to instill that culture not of a fixed mindset where I can only make it in life by getting employment, to a growth mindset. I can actually start a business that is not just a small pasta shop along the street or selling fruit here and there, but really start a business that will become an enterprise one day, and where you can become an employer to your fellow peers.
Thank you very much. I think you really defined, especially the fact that most of the time, we start business as the last resort. We say, "Ish, and what you are aiming to do is to say, actually, this can be also be the first thing that is coming to our minds. Because if I want to go and qualify and go get employed, I'm going to be employed by another business person. So if we can cultivate this spirit, it means we're going to be getting more of people that are going out of school with a mindset of creating employment, not to go seek employment. That's very good for me. So another question for me now is, I'm sitting here at home and I'm like, wow, this program is really interesting. I'm a teacher. I'm in Guyana. I'm in KwaZulu Natal, and I want to get more information to say what is it that I can do in order to get more information, in order for me to eventually, with an idea or an appetite of having such a program coming to my school.
Thank you very much, Ntate. So we have been one of the advocates of really taking entrepreneurship into schools. And one day we hope that this will become part of the national curriculum as we work hand in hand with the Department of Basic Education as well. But if you are a learner, a teacher, a parent, anywhere in the country, especially in the Northwest, we want to increase our footprint and increase the number of schools that are involved in the program, because that for us means that there is more impact on the ground. We've got social media pages where we speak about our programs, we profile our students, we profile the work that we've been doing together with our partners, the work that CEDA has been doing in the schools. And we also have a website, primestars.co.za. So that is primestars.co.za. And that is where our beneficiaries or people that have a vested interest in a young person's life can then find out more information and get hold of us. Alternatively, they can then send us inboxes or direct messages on social media and requesting for their schools to get involved.
So thank you so much. So yes, now I hear where to get this. Now I'm asking myself, what are the key elements of this program? What are the things that you guys actually do? If you were to define it so that program ina yetsa eng now itla ko HF clue, HF clue. What are the key elements of the program roll out when it's there at the school level?
This is actually the part that excites me. Well, Primestars is known for edutainment and edutainment. We teach using theater, we teach using film. Why? Because storytelling is synonymous with wisdom and teaching throughout Africa. And what better way to teach our young people about entrepreneurship than through storytelling? The program starts with what we call a film, a movie. And in this movie, Refile from Tebedisano Secondary School will then visit one of the screening facilities whereby he will watch the movie. On screen, he sees Mlungisi Makubalo, who comes from the same circumstances, has faced the same challenges, can't find employment, but goes into his community, solves a problem through a product or a service. Because what's important is that you have to always solve a problem, and that's how you know that people will actually pay for your product or service. Mr. Makubalo then goes on a journey of finding a mentor, starting his business, and then failing, because failing is good. We teach our young people to fail forward, learn from their mistakes, because we want to teach them that resilience and that iterating and pivoting your business is a very good thing until you get your product market fit. Through this hero's journey on screen, on the film, the young person is then inspired to go back into his community, wherever he may come from, and then go and undertake the same exercise. This year's theme is going to be climate change and the green economy, where we really encourage young people to go into their communities and really look for those problems that are related to the green economy and, of course, the climate change. You know, we see the vast changes in the weather. In the Western Cape, there are the fires. In KZN, there are the rains. We've got problems of electricity. We've got problems of pollution, water pollution, environmental pollution, air pollution. And even though all of these climate change issues pose a risk to humanity, they also come with a host of opportunities. That is where really we inspire our young people to think of solutions where they can enter this green economy. And then we encourage them to form teams of 2 or 3. Remember, they're still in high school, so teams of 3 together with a teacher, and then enter that business idea into a competition. Then for a period of about 2 or 3 months, we have workshops, we visit the schools together with SEDA representatives. And this year we actually want to involve businessmen from the local communities, whereby we will host workshops and inspire these young people on how to start their small businesses. We then have a first phase adjudication. On average, we've had about 700 business entries nationally from high school students into our competition. This just blows me away, because we see that our young people have the ideas. They just need the support, and they need us and organizations such as SEDA to hold their hand to be able to bring them to fruition. From the 700 business submissions, we then adjudicate to the top 100. From the top 100, we then adjudicate to the top 30. The top 30 teams from all over South Africa are then brought to Johannesburg to stay with us for a week-long boot camp. And in that boot camp, we teach them about strategy, marketing, social media. We teach them, aspects about the green economy. But the most important session that we have with them is pitching preparation. Because on the last day of the boot camp, these teams then need to pitch those business ideas that they submitted into the competition to a panel of dragons. So we always say that our dragons don't breathe fire, but that is where panelists such as yourselves, Mr. Mfapeni and Mr. Makubalo, will then sit and judge these young people on their small businesses based on a rubric that we have worked on together with SEDA. The top 3 teams are then awarded prizes on the final day, which we call our awards ceremony. And last year, Minister Stella Ndabeni delivered a fantastic speech encouraging and honoring these young people with the prizes, and of course congratulating them for the success that they've had in the competition. But of the 30 teams that come to Johannesburg, no young person walks away, because together as an ecosystem, we raise a host of prizes to be able to support these young people, to further advance them in establishing their small businesses. And these prizes range from bursaries, learnerships, into further education. We give away computers, tablets. There's seed funding, which is always nice, because, as a young person, When you've got a business idea, having seed funding always helps. And then we have vouchers. The teachers that come along also receive wonderful prizes. But it's all about getting our young people excited about this journey of entrepreneurship and showing them that it is possible. Even though you may be a young person from Krithani High School or Kanana Secondary School, you can be a business owner.
Thank you very much for that comprehensive description of the program. I mean, really, it's getting our minds excited, and I'm sure, and I know, because here in the Northwest and in Bujanala, to be specific, we are very entrepreneurial. And I know Baritziko Khaya are jumping up and down with the amount of information that we are giving them right now. So we are going to go on an ad break for now, and then we'll come back to discuss more with Mr. Mohale about this program. You are still tuned into the Business Lounge with Gentle Mashopan. So, Dr. Mohale, you really described what the program does. But one of the questions that I have is, we are looking at this in a school context, right?
Yes, sir.
And one of the things that we do not want to do is to create, you touched on to say, one of your eventual goal is to incorporate entrepreneurship in the curriculum. But currently it is not. Now, my question is, as the current way, in terms of those elements, what about the educator? Is there ways that you guys are capacitating the educator so that the educator don't view this as something that is parallel to what he is part of? Because the program is running right now. Entrepreneurship is not incorporated into our curriculum as yet, but how is there something that you guys do just to pull the teacher to have a buy-in onto this thing in order for it to be a success?
Yes, sir. That's a very good question. You know, we cannot run this program without the support of the headmasters of the school and, of course, the teachers that accompany the learners. As you might recall, I mentioned that learners that are in a vicinity close to a cinema, they go and watch the movie at the cinema. But for schools that are, on the outskirts, towns that are not closer to a cinema, we bring our facilitators with a projector, a screen, a laptop, a sound system, and we replicate that cinema environment in their school, in their classroom. So the learners that come to the cinema come accompanied by their teachers. And why involving the teacher is important for us is because during the period whereby the learners are coming up with their business ideas, they need to work hand in hand with the teachers, because the teachers can help them with resources, can help them with regards to doing research and just guidance as to what ideas might be viable. For instance, with their pricing models, etc., etc. But also, you might know that in schools currently we have a subject called economics and accounting, and I don't know if we still have as many, but when I was in high school, we used to have market days whereby on a specific day as the economics class, we would, sell cupcakes or the popcorn or whatever it may be that you have thought of, and you come and sell that at school. So we would like to see a year-long market day, for that matter of fact, whereby the teacher constantly works together with the learner and inspires them. And there's that constant learning of entrepreneurship, failing, iterating, pivoting, getting customer verification, because it's that practice that our young people need for when they are finished with school. Then it is not a shock to them. When people, for instance, don't purchase their product or don't pay for their services. But now, because they've been practicing it in school, it's normal to them. They can, change up their business model canvases to be able to get a product or service that suits the customer, that the customers will pay for.
Thank you very much for that. So, as you know, and I think in my opening I really outlined that as a country we don't exist in an island, we exist in a global world. But now, as a school, we also exist in the community. And now, my question to you is, we are sitting out there as communities. There be it the community as the business community, or the natural community, which is where the kids, the homes, and where they are coming from, and the neighborhoods that they're coming from. From your side, what community involvement do you encourage in order to see the success of this program being of higher percentage, to increase the probability of the success of this program? What role can the community in its various sectors? So I defined two types of community, one being the business community, and then the second one being the general community in our homes. What role can we play, or they play, in order to ensure that such a program is a success?
Thank you very much. I'll start maybe with the community at large, and then I'll deal with the business community. For the parents out there and the greater community, when you hear, for instance, on the radio that Prime Stars will be running this specific program, in your school, if you see an advert on TV, if you hear about it anywhere, we'd like you to encourage the young people to enter the competition. Because if we come to a school, we don't just want to see 3 submissions or 4 submissions. We would like to see everyone take part. And when the community encourages the young people, when the community advises the young people and perhaps points them out to some of the problems that they can solve. For instance, Mr. Makubalo can meet Refilwe down the street and say, hey, Refilwe, I heard that there's this competition running in your school. There is a problem of dumping in XYZ street. Have you perhaps thought of how we can find a solution to solve that dumping problem over there? And that kind of engagement with our young people and support and constant probing, of course, gets their mind activated and perhaps helps them with ideas as well. And ask them, have you thought about this? Have you thought about that? And that is what we believe will get our learners to be more successful and give us a better quality of entry into our business submissions. Secondly, I want to deal with the business community. I'd like to encourage the business community that, when we have activations at school, and when CEDA invites you to come and speak to the school, come along and bring your experience, because when the young people can see that Uncle Jabulani from down the street, who I know has a business, but I don't know how he started, I don't know his testimony, I don't know his story. But when he starts to talk about his failures and his successes, he or she, because we know women also make great entrepreneurs, start to inspire our young people. And now the story becomes relatable, and the goal seems much closer. And it doesn't seem like a faraway dream or a business that can only be started in Fenton or in Johannesburg or, one of those great cities. But someone from Rustenburg can also start a successful business. So we encourage the community to get involved in the young people's businesses, probe them and ask how are they doing, give them ideas, and obviously support them. One thing that I'd also like to add is that as from 2024, as the program has been growing, we are now also going to start having regional awards. And we are looking at the Northern Cape as possibly the first regional award that we will be having, and soon also possibly move to Northwest. And that is where we want the community at large to also get involved when we are awarding the young people, these different prizes. And why we're coming to local and regional awards is because we want to encourage those that didn't make it into the top 100 or the top 50, that they can have that exposure and see, the prizes that are given away and the celebration, so that they can try again and try again until they are able then to succeed.
Thank you very much. I really like the depth in which you take in order to explain this, because as the business lounge, we have got limited time, and we always say to people that what we talk about here in this show is equivalent to a starter. And if you want to test the food, you'll taste the starter in order to know that this food is going to be nice. And we encourage you listeners at home. We are still going to give the websites as Mr. Mohamed already said from the Prime Start. We're going to give you the website from CEDA. We're also going to give our studio number, which is 065-744-5656. 065-744-5656. You can send through your WhatsApp note. Today we will not be able to take calls, but if you can get your WhatsApp notes in terms of questions, which we will be able to, if we cannot answer it right now on the show, we will surely revert back to you and then be able to answer those questions, because I think this program is one of those groundbreaking programs that needs to be supported, and it needs to occupy each and every. There shouldn't be a learner or a school that doesn't know about this program, because one of the things that I find out whilst I was doing the research about this is a lot of people that I'll speak to who are in the education sector, they don't know about this program. So that becomes an issue for me, because we are having this program, which is to me, is the best program that can solve, and I can even be bold and say it can halve, if successfully implemented, can halve the unemployment rate within youth by in the next 10 years. Will go to half. So that's where we want to be in as a country. And so now you have been doing this program. Remohale, what are the challenges that you come across, and how did you overcome those challenges? And if there's anything else, I mean, like, you didn't really touch in terms of what we as the different communities must do, but what are the challenges that you have identified whilst you're running this program? And then how did you now come up with ways, or how can we, because, education is not left for school. And this program cannot be left alone for you. So whatever the challenges that you meet should be a collaborative effort in the community, in the school, and in your site and CEDA, in order for us to solve. So what are the, if you may highlight the challenges that you have observed whilst you are running this program?
Thank you very much. One of the challenges, actually one of the first that come to mind, is when we are doing our rural implementation. As I mentioned, for learners that are too far away from cinemas, we then go into those schools, we set up a cinema environment, and we bring a projector, screen, laptop, sound system, etc. We have noticed that sometimes that the learners, when we are interacting with them, don't have enough nutrition. And we always try to give them, for instance, a Coke and a popcorn, and we bring them a sandwich and, a cool drink. But we do understand that, we are dealing with very extreme socioeconomic circumstances. And I'd like to encourage that where businesses, local businesses can support, schools, with equipment, with furniture, etc. Please do that, because we see the dire circumstances that our schools are dealing with. And of course, a school nutrition program, assisting those learners, because we know that if we have learners that are full in their stomachs, if I can put it like that, it's better for them to be receptive and receive the information that we are teaching them. But we also want to encourage the parents to sit down with the children, teach them about finances. Because yes, we are teaching our young people about entrepreneurship, starting a business, but our young people don't know how to handle money. Teach them about saving, teach them about budgeting, especially because we know that funding is limited in this country. But if you can, for instance, save up, just for an example, let me say 200 Rand and buy a stock for your first business venture, that is a start. And that is the culture that we want to our parents to start teaching the young people as well, so that when the likes of Freedom provide funding to the businesses that come out of the competition, the young person knows that this is funding for my business. It's not funding for me to go and buy Nike shoes or take my girlfriend out or my boyfriend, that may be, etc., etc. So these are the sort of challenges that we deal with. But also, we'd like to encourage the teachers. We do understand that your curriculum is extremely packed, and we know that time is always limited, and there's a lot of work. But push the learners, encourage them to enter the competition, because there are a host of opportunities that lie on the other side of the competition. And you might hear Mr. Makubalo speak of one of our previous beneficiaries, Khunsi, from Orange Farm, who started a jam business. CEDA gifted him, he won 500,000 Rand from CEDA last year. And this is a beneficiary that came out of the program. So we really want to encourage our teachers and our principals to encourage their learners to be attentive, number one, when we are there and teaching them. Number two, to take the program seriously and to enter the competition.
Thank you very much. I think you touched a nerve there for me. Last week in our show, we were discussing, we had one of our local traditional leaders in the business show, and we were discussing the uplifting of communities via CSI, because more often than not, us as business, we do CSI as a tick box to say, did we do it? Yes, it's done, and then we leave. But if we can do it as a way of sustainability in these communities, as a way of uplifting these communities, and it will assist us. And with programs such as this one that we're talking about, it gives us another opportunity as business. And I want to encourage, I know most of my business friends are listening. I know most of business people are listening to this. Most of people that have got influence in other businesses are listening into this. I think this is a national call to all of us to say, how do we play a role as you have described? So what I want to ask, and also maybe to Mr. Makubalo, it's, if I've got 10 businesses that are listening to me right now, which I know for a fact, and we want to participate in this. When it comes to Rustenburg, to be specific, because that's the areas where we operate in. How can we? Is there some sort of a database where we can register ourselves so that you can know to say, for such a program X, so here are the list of people that are already availing themselves, because us as Pyramid Group Funerals, we will want to be part of such, because as I said, it's a groundbreaking program. So is there a provision from your office and Tate Maselesele, from your office, is there provision to say, if you need business people, do you have a database of them? Or if I'm listening to this now, how do I now put my name down as a business to be saying, I want to assist, I operate in Tzitzing, I operate in Tlasing, I operate in Lidach, I operate in Pudidi Sulejang. How can I now be part of those that are available? As he said, if he's saying things like one of the challenges is the nutrition for the kids, it's a fact. We know that. And we know that not in one day we can solve this problem. But if I know to be saying there will be 15 learners that are going to be participating in this program, one of the things that we identified is that we want to make sure that when they come to that particular session, they're all fed. and you've got 5 of us to be saying, okay, fine, make sure that these kids are all fit. This is the type of CSI which we don't just want to, as much as buying a shoe and giving it out is good, but these are other types of CSI as business that we want to participate in. So is there anything in your offices that we can do? If not, what are you going to do in order to get it there?
Thank you for that. I think it's an opportune time, specifically speaking to the entrepreneurship programs in schools. We all know that government's financial year end is coming now at the end of March. So obviously we'll be getting into new resources being put into the program. And the fact that we're with Prime Stars is also an opportunity so that we can begin to look into, say, in the new financial year, what are the possibilities of us identifying a school or two in the Rustenburg area specifically to implement the program. And I must...
Don't steal my questions. Don't steal my questions.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not asking, actually. I was responding to your question. Look, any opportunity would be welcomed. I think in the last interview we had, we agreed that we need to find a mechanism where we can be in touch with each other, specifically yourself, given the networks that you have around the business community, to say, these are the people that I've spoken to, these are the interests that they have, and then we can indicate to them to say, look, these are the challenges that we are having in terms of implementing the program in schools. And Mr. Maselese's office is always open as well.
I think if I can add to Mr. Makubalo, leave no one behind, right? That is the tagline, actually, for the United Nations 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. So even SIDA Bojanala West, we have an open door policy, and we don't want to leave anyone behind. If I can quickly add also, when we were discussing, we spoke of pitching and winners and whatnot. I just want to highlight also to say the 2023 Presidential Award pitching competition winners are from Bojanala West. They are young, they are relatable. Actually, their brand name is Relate Clothing. So those are the types of people in our database also that the learners and students can relate with also, and can listen to and can be inspired. You know, a program like this also requires representation. Like you stated in your introduction, you need someone who's coming from your neighborhood, who's coming from your community, someone you can speak to in your local language, in your slang, you understand. So having resources like your Relate Clothing in our database and in our programs, to me, it's a very useful resource. But we'd like to duplicate and create and multiply these relates. So a program like this to start the youngsters at as early as grade 10, you know, by the time they've completed their studies, they'll be industry giants. So I'm very excited also as a branch, as a district of Bojanala West to jump on this program, and we'd like to invite anyone and everyone from both the general and the business community to participate.
Thank you very much, Mr. Maseleses. And one of the reason why I stepped in when Mr. Makubalo was saying if it comes to Rustenburg, one of the things that I want to commit from business point of view is, as the business show, we will go and have a database of business or progressive business people that we are going to bring forth to you guys. And we're going to bring forth not only as names, we're going to bring forth people that have got a good story to tell. I mean, we've got a lot of business people. I can think about few who had walked the townships, who were born in the township. I mean, we've got Buang Mulot, born in Tlhabane, doing marvelous things for the community there. And so that's someone who can be part of this program. And we will make it happen as the business launch. We are committing ourselves. We know that as Radio Mafisa, we're a big radio station. People are listening to us, and we don't make fake promises here. So we are going to make it happen as the business launch, to be saying, here is us as the Rustenburg or Bojanala business people. We heard about this entrepreneurship in schools. We want to see it happening in our schools. So one of the things that we want to see happen, which we are going to put pressure in you guys, we want to see this program at least in one of our schools this year. this must happen. And we Remohale, if go na le line fo and then go na le criteria e le selectang ka yona, o tla re tlhalosetsa gore criteria ya gore le select sekolo se le etsang go mara what we want to see happening as the business lounge for this new financial year is to have a school within Rustenburg. And what we promise you from the CEDA side, because you are part of CEDA as their extension, is we promise you that as the business community, we will participate. We will ensure that we avail our resources in order to make this a success. Already we have said one of our children, and we had him in the show from Relate, and so it already shows that as people in Rustenburg were very entrepreneurial in our nature. And we will take advantage of this program. And but it's okay. Can promise we will have this implemented in one of our schools within Rustenburg. We will have this supported by our business people.
That I actually just like to add there that we actually had Manape Secondary School involved last year. But I don't just want the school to be involved. I want the competition entries to be so good that I see them as nationals. And how you can assist is by interacting with them during our workshop and helping them with their business submissions so that we can see them at the finalists. And of course, more schools. We want to see more schools from your region.
Thank you very much. Ramalisa?
Yeah, I just want to also open an invitation. If there are any learners, educators, principals, SGB people listening and finding interest in the program, they can come to the branch and we can then facilitate for that respective school also as a branch through our linkages with Prime Star and the national office at CEDA.
No, thank you very much. I think this is Rustenburg. This is the way to open a year. This is the kind of New Year's resolutions that we want as people of Bujanala. This is the kind of progressive thinking and progressive work that we want to do. And just in closing, Remohale, from your side, in terms of long-term sustainability of the program, because we don't want it to be saying, Bailo winner the prize. Now, after that, what are the things that gets done to ensure the sustainability of the businesses that these young people have come up with?
Yeah. Now, that is a very, very important question because, as you might know, our program will run for plus minus 8 months. But after that, these young people come back to the community. They might have won, they might have not won, but we still want them to continue. We have merely planted the seed, but we need businessmen like yourself, sir, and of course the regional and local CEDA department to keep in contact, as we also keep in contact with them. But we need mentors for these young people. We need mentors to hold them accountable. Number one, we need support systems, where they need a possible material, where they might need possible seed funding. These are all things that young people need to be able to continue in their business. We do have a larger ecosystem, but we want the local community to be more involved. Because when Rikile can see that, Mr. Makuwala has been able to make it, and he was maybe perhaps 2 grades ahead. Already when I come up in the lower grades, I also have that excitement and that inspiration to do it again. And now we have the previous beneficiaries that pay it forward to the next group of beneficiaries. As you mentioned, that you've had past young people from your area that have won kitchen competitions. We want them to inspire local communities, because once you start small businesses in the community, you now create employment. Now the whole community is blessed, and now you start to get more income in that community, and the town grows. Now infrastructure starts to develop as well, because as people's economic circumstances advance, so can they now spend more. And that ultimately means our GDP will also grow because they add to that as well.
Thank you very much. So, as we always say, as the business launch, our time is very limited. Remo Khumalo, your parting shot.
Yeah, thank you. Just to add on that sustainability issue, Nigeria community aware. This is just one program of the Small Enterprise Development Agency, SEDA. Beyond this, there's also the work that the branches do on a day-to-day basis to support these businesses to grow. So they must visit us for that purpose.
Thank you. Remo Mansila?
Yeah, I think I'll also echo those statements. Like I said, our branch is open. It's youthful. It's energetic. We want these ideas. We want to support young people from Bujanala and surroundings. They can come. My office is open at any given time. So I'm inviting, as you're saying, it's the way to start a year. I want to start a year with the young people of Bujanala and their businesses and pay it forward.
Thank you very much. Remo Hale, your parting shots to our listeners at home. What would you like as a parting shot to say to them? Those that have been listening to this show and those that are going to watch this show on our YouTube channels, what would you like to say to them as a parting shot?
Thank you very much. I'd like to encourage each and every single young person that might be listening to this interview on live or, in a post Facebook or YouTube. Your future is in your hands. So many people are complaining about our country. So many people are complaining about our circumstances, but the opportunities are there. And SEDA is there to support you. The Business Lounge is there to support you. Prime Stars is there to support you. You just need to take up the opportunity with your hands in the sun. And I'm telling you, nothing can ever stop you.
Thank you very much. Maretsuko Khaya, you were listening to the Business Lounge with Gentle Mashopane, brought to you by Pyramid Group Funerals. Good evening. You are tuned in to the Business Lounge with Gentle Mashopane at Radio Mafisa 93.4, the Platinum Voice. Let's talk.
When you set your standards or you set your boundaries, people are going to say, oh, you think you're all that. I am. And I don't care. I am. And I don't need you to make me feel like I am. I'm going to set this standard, and I'm going to live by this standard. And I'm not going to let anybody come into my life, not even be a business partner, not be a marriage partner, not be a girlfriend, boyfriend, and pull me down to where you are.